Today's Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Memorial Day, and quite often I get asked which books about the Holocaust I recommend. So I decided to prepare a short little clip in case anyone's interested in my recommendations of memoirs and novels. Here are a few at random. I just picked off my bookshelves. First of all, I want to start with Aaron Appelfeld. In my view, he's possibly the greatest writer on the Holocaust, writer of novels about the Holocaust. He was sent to a labor camp aged 10 after his mother was shot dead in front of him. He miraculously escaped and then survived. And although he didn't have any schooling of any kind, any formal schooling, he went on to master several languages. He's written many fantastic books. I read about 10 of them. This one in English, he wrote in Hebrew, but this one in English, Blooms of Darkness, is very good. Another one that was just reissued, I'm happy to say, having not been available for many years, is called Katerina. That's about a kind of a Ukrainian woman who helped and lived with Jews. And then when the Jews she was looking after were murdered, she herself decided to try and keep up Jewish culture, the Ukrainian woman. So anything by Aaron Appelfeld. Another book that I think is amazing, The Passenger. This came out in 2018. It was written after Kristallnacht in just 6 weeks in 1938. The author, who was half Jewish, Ulrich Boschwitz, he died in 1942 during the war, and then it was rediscovered, this book, in German, in a kind of cupboard, unknown, in about 7 or 8 years ago. It was published, translated into English, and it rightfully became the #1 bestseller. It is a masterpiece. It's a furiously written book about a man trying to escape Germany on a trains, riding around, trying to cross borders. It is beautifully written. It is a very poignant book, The Passenger. Another book that I've always liked is the Czech writer Jiří Weil, who was in hiding in the war. Two of his books stand out. There is Life with a Star, the Star of David, of course. That's Jiří Weil, a Czech writer. This is the original copy. This is a more recent edition. And he also wrote a novel called Mendelssohn is on the Roof. Mendelssohn is on the Roof. He's referring to the composer of Jewish origin, Mendelssohn, and you may know that Heydrich, who was the Reichsprotector, the Nazi who oversaw the Czech lands, Prague, he ordered the banning, not just the physical destruction of Jews, but the physical destruction of anything connected to Jews, including statues. So on the Rudolfinum concert hall, a beautiful concert hall in the middle of Prague, there are statues on the roof of composers. And he saw a statue of Mendelssohn, of Jewish origin. He ordered some junior Nazis to go up and destroy the statue of Mendelssohn. The Nazis who went up they were not experts on classical music like Heydrich was. They couldn't identify who was Mendelssohn. They thought, we better take down the statue with the biggest nose, which is what they taught, the stereotypes of Jews they were taught. And they, by mistake, took down the statue of Wagner, Adolf Hitler's favorite German non-Jewish composer. Those Nazis were severely punished for taking down the statue of Wagner rather than Mendelssohn. Anyway, it's a kind of tragic, dark Holocaust comedy called Mendelssohn is on the Roof by Jiří Weil. Another book I like, in case you don't have time to read a longer book, it's very slim. It's called Reunion by God, I can't remember his first name. Anyway, his second name is Ullman, and Frederick Ullman. It's again a story between a young Jewish boy and a non-Jewish boy who are friends in Germany, and the evolution of their friendship as the Nazi menace encroaches in the 1930s. Again, a minor masterpiece. It's very slim, about 100 pages, Reunion. And finally, or maybe most importantly, of course, is Primo Levi, If This Is a Man, the Italian chemist who survived Auschwitz. and is one of the greatest writers, not just on the Holocaust, he's just generally one of the greatest writers. That's the British edition. This is an early American edition called Survival in Auschwitz. So sometimes it's called Survival in Auschwitz, sometimes it's called If This Is a Man. Two or three other books I'll just mention briefly in case you're still looking for something. Mikhail Sebastian, For 2000 Years, is very good. And a Czech writer who's a Holocaust survivor who died recently, Otto Dovkolka, Landscapes of the Metropolis of Death. And then finally, not directly about the Holocaust, but the great Russian Soviet, or he was actually Ukrainian Jew, writer Vasily Grossman wrote this 1,000-page masterpiece, Life and Fate, also about Stalingrad. Grossman was the first journalist into the Treblinka death camp. He entered with the Red Army. He was with the Red Army, so he witnessed a lot of the atrocities and terrible things of World War II. It's 1,000 pages, but worth reading. So those are some of my recommended books. And I think it's important. These aren't just historical factual books. Most of the books I just mentioned are fictionalized accounts, obviously based on the truth.